I just did a voiceover video here and did not catch the audio, so oopsie. Let's do it again. Today I'm doing a straight putter review. This is the Watt. It's just as understable as you can get while still being straight. The Reko and the Tuff from Kastaplast are pretty much dead straight flyers. I turned the Reko over just slightly, but this is a good flight out of the Tuff. And then the Ohm, MVP Ohm. I knew this one was going to be a little bit more stable, so I hung a little bit more right side. They're all basically as straight as it gets, though. That's that MVP Watt. Hyzer flips dead straight. I misrelease here slightly, miss the line. It still goes dead straight, it just goes dead straight left because my footwork is angled to the left. This is a problem I have to correct in the future. I end up doing it 3 times in a row. Muscle memory is taking over here, and I'm throwing a lot of max distance anhyzers with distance drivers, so muscle memory is taking over and I'm positioning myself leftward. So that's a habit I gotta break. But they went straight on the line I threw them on. So here I'm throwing the Watt again. Hyzer flips dead straight. Kastaplast Reko. Very, very straight, good flight out of it. Pretty much on the line the whole way. And then the Kastaplast Tuff. There's a little bit of right to left wind. Thought I was going to flip it up, but the wind drifted it left. Still dead straight though. And then the headwind picked up and made the Ohm, the most overstable one, go straight. But they're all dead straight, pretty much. So the MVP Watt is as close to a buzz in a putter as you can get. It's pretty much identical to a buzz, but just doesn't go as far in terms of flight. Definitely not hand feel, but in terms of flight. You can hyzer flip this one or get a nice soft, gentle turnover. This flight path is pretty accurate. It is as understable as a disc can be while still being in the straight flying category. Next up is the Reko, Kastaplast. If you throw the Tuff and the Reko identical, if you could copy and paste the exact same throw with the Reko as the Tuff, they would probably end up in the same exact spot. The only difference is the Reko, despite it having less glide and less fade, I find that it's essentially the same thing as a Kastaplast Tuff. So what ends up happening is it actually flips more in its flight right out of the hand. The first 10% of its flight or so flips up. The last 10% of its flight or so fades. And then the middle 80% of its flight, it tends to just hold whatever line it is on. Whereas the Tuff will slowly, super slowly flip up half its flight, and then it'll just reach its midpoint and super slowly fade back. You can get a really nice long hyzer flip or a long panning hyzer or a super, super straight shot out of it. Whereas the Reko is going to flip up immediately off the line, whereas the Tuff will slowly, gradually flip up. And about midway, they'll be holding each. And then the Reko, once it slows down, it actually has more stability than the Tuff does. It's kind of interesting. And I find it funny that they've marked the flight numbers, but then we have question mark, question mark, question mark. So this Tuff was easily the farthest flying putter of all the 4 that I tried. I would definitely give it a 5 glide. And I would say it's more like maybe a -1 turn 2 fade. If that, it's just dead straight. This is the type of putter that when I'm trying to throw at 300 feet, I accidentally throw at 350. I don't have that problem with my other putters. They generally go about 3 to 330, and this one goes about 350. So in addition to it being a little longer flying and more glidey, I also like its really straight, consistent flight. This is easily my favorite straight putter of the batch. And finally, we have the So this is really glidey. The 2-speed, I feel like it's kind of closer to 3-speed. It goes far, and that's probably because the 5 glide kicks in. This one is really glidey. I can get this to go over 350, and it has just a tiniest flip up, and as soon as it stops flipping up, it just holds whatever line comes out of your hand on. It's just really, it's a really nice laser kind of putter. You can, this is the one I'll go to for throw-ins if I am playing doubles and I really want a really nice throw-in. It's just super point and shoot, and it's super glidey, and you can have that floaty. If you set it just a tiny bit nose up, you can have that really floaty flight where it just pushes super straight even on its nose up line. So in order of most to least favorite, the Tuff, it's super forgiving because it flips and fades extremely slowly and it's glidey. Then the Ohm, I really like the Ohm for touchy throw-ins and doubles and glidey hyzers. Haven't decided if the Watt or the Reko is going to be in 3rd or 4th place, but this is such a super fun shot to throw with the Watt, that hyzer flip. And then that Reko, I still need a little bit more practice with it. It's a little deeper. It is a little deeper and more wobbly, so it's going to take a little bit more control and practice. It's going to take a little bit more time to see if I can get this type of flight out of the Reko that I'm getting out of that Tuff. So yeah, 4 very, very straight putters. If you threw them identical, they would be within 3 feet of each other. They are that similar, but there are just slight micro differences.